don't understand how I get disrespect. It's because I never want to do anything you expect. Shout out the Limitless Performing Arts. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Once upon a time, a long time ago, I was rocking playground with the before show. I'm not gonna say that I was the best, but you know I worked harder than all the rest. I did whatever I had to, I sacrificed, so I could make sure people knew my music was nice. I don't care if you don't know me, I don't care what I'm worth, but I'ma tell you, you will know that I put in the work. You don't know me, man, that's so know me. Yeah. You don't know me, man, that's so know me. Yeah. You don't know me, man, that's so know me. Yeah. You don't know me, man, that's so know me. You don't know me, man, that's so know me. Yeah. You don't know me, man, that's so know me. You don't know me, man, that's so know me. Yeah. You don't know me. How can I do so much and still be anonymous? It's like college giraffe or hippopotamus. I'm like the internet, I'm autonomous, unsung hero. With this, I'm synonymous. Don't play checkers, only play chess. My career like a bulletproof vest.
Good morning.
Unpenetrable, nevertheless, a never-ending story.
Good evening, good afternoon.
Hallelujah, ballyhoo. I'm gonna make it just do what it do. You want me to stop? Stop me. You want me to drop? Drop me. Bodega, call me Poppy. Clean your shit up, boy, you just sloppy. MC, my legacy, follow me. Real MC Breeze on the IG. You don't know me, man, but that's so know me. Yeah. You don't know me, man, but that's so know me. Yeah. You don't know me, man, but that's so know me. Yeah. You don't know me, man, but that's so know me. You don't know me, man, but that's so know me. You don't know me, man, but that's so know me. You don't know me, man, but that's so know me. You don't know me, but that's so know me. And hip hop, yo, I'm a homeowner. I own acres. Philly boy, really. Watch Bird Gang Sundays, dilly dilly.
Hey everybody, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's Mike from Reelblack, and I am joined. I have the honor and privilege of having a guest this afternoon. It's a Rolynns Reviews. She's in the chat. Where's everybody watching from? I'm in Philly. Hi from Philly. I hope you're having a great Friday. So we're switching it up. We're not playing music today because I don't want the show to get blocked. You know, I want this piece to stand for a while. But we have a great guest on today, Lynn from Rolynns Reviews. Down in I'm going to bring her up right now. Hey, okay, hang on, and she can join the chat. Hey there. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm good. Hang on. You're breaking up. I think it's because I got the thing still going. How you doing? Can I hear you now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm great. I hope you are.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. I'm doing good, Lynn. Thanks. We finally got you on. We've been talking about doing this for over a month.
Yes.
And it just took a series of circumstances for it to happen today. So welcome. Where are you at exactly? People are coming in. We got you're in
If you know where Fort Bragg, North Carolina is, now this is where I work. I'm not from here, but that's where I'm living right now. Fort Bragg, North Carolina, that area.
Okay. Yeah, I've yet to go. Now I have a reason to come visit.
That's right.
I've been to Wilmington, North Carolina. You got some amazing food down there.
Yeah, I'm about an hour from Wilmington. I'm not very far from Wilmington.
Okay, so this is sort of like an extension of our Empowerment Tuesdays, except Rolynn or Lynn has been a part of the channel for almost a year, right? Is when we first started putting your stuff up.
And watching your channel since I found your channel. I watch something on your channel just about every day because I love your content is amazing.
Oh, thank you. That makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Yes, but you reached out because you have a channel that features interviews and things Let me see if I can
Right.
pull that intro thing up while we're talking. But I mean, for those who don't know your channel, and the name of your channel is right there, Rolynns
Okay.
Reviews.
Right.
Let people know more about it while I pull up the intro video.
Okay. So I started the Rolynns Reviews YouTube channel, I think in 2019 when they sent us home, when they shut. I ordered some books. I'm an avid reader, and I ordered some books from Amazon. I'm like, what am I going to do? And so I started reading books. I started looking at YouTube even more. And so I saw that book reviews was really, really popular on YouTube. So I said, hey, why not? You know, so I started my channel. I was still dealing with the loss of my mother. So I wanted to find something to do to keep me occupied, something that I, you know, could enjoy, that would sort of, you know, educate people. A little bit of my bio. I've been an educator in the state of North Carolina for the last 25 years. So I teach courses like honors biotechnology. I also teach honors food science technology, agri-science. So obviously you see I'm a science person.
Okay.
And one thing that if you've been hearing about the critical race theory, and people are upset that we aren't really represented in the history books. So what I've done in my classroom is I've incorporated, I changed things up. We as educators in the classroom, all right, we don't have to just follow the curriculum verbatim. One of the assignments that I would give my students is a sort of an unsung scientists, inventors, researchers. Now, I didn't tell them that it was going to be primarily people of color, but once they were done with it, they saw all these people, most of us have never heard of. Now, I'm a Generation Xer. Our Google was World Book Encyclopedia or Britannica Encyclopedia, and
Yeah.
okay, and the library. So a lot of this, I'm just learning. And so I'm like, they're going to learn it too. So I started incorporating these things into my classroom. So again, one of the projects is they had to do a display board, and they had all these people. They had to tell me who they were, when were they born, where were they born, what did they do? Okay. So that's how I sort of said, hey, these students don't know this. And then when I started my channel, I started talking about, you know, things so far as Black history, African-American history is concerned, most of us aren't even aware of. Now, you will see some content on my channel. Now, I haven't done, and people say, why haven't you done the Tulsa riots? A lot of us already know about the Tulsa riots. So eventually I will discuss it. But what I did the Ocoee massacre, very similar incident, right?
In Florida, yeah.
Right. And I did the, you know, the riots that happened in the North, because I have several. I've lived in New York. I've lived in Pennsylvania, and people, you know, up north think everything was wonderful. No, it was not. You were, you know, we were hated and treated just as badly, except with a smile. Whereas the Southerners, you knew where you stood every moment. So that's what I try to do. So far as my channel is concerned, I like to cover topics, and I try to cover things in a way where, you know, people aren't offended, because I've had people reach out to me. I've actually, one of the videos I did was with some young girls, about 33 young Black African-American girls that were taken from their families. Their families didn't know where they were. No one knew about this incident. And they were, you know, in this filthy building, no, you know, toilet, you know, really nothing to eat. So a young lady reached out to me and said, my grandmother was one of those young girls. I've even had a Jewish gentleman reach out to me about 2-3 weeks ago, I did a video on which I found this out because I do a lot of reading, a lot of research. During World War II, when Jews were fleeing Nazi Germany, when they were coming to America, they were met with so much anti-Semitism. People didn't want to give them jobs. Well, guess who opened up the doors and gave these people jobs? The HBCUs. So, yes. And so I did a video on that. I had someone reach out to me, a Jewish gentleman. He reached out to me and he said that his grandfather was part of that, the people who came over and who worked at an HBCU. So,
right. I think we're looking at it now. So typically you live stream your comments or your thoughts about a topic. Is that generally how it works?
Yes, sir. I do live streams every Sunday at 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. That's typically when I do my live streams. And again, I try to cover topics that, that are, some are controversial, but I want my subbies, I let them decide. I always ask them, what do you want to talk about? And then, when they tell me, and when they choose, if I choose a topic that they gave me, then, I send them a little money in their Cash App, or whatever. But, Black yes, Cindy said I teach Black inventors you never heard of. Look at all these people we've never heard of. When the movie Hidden Figures came out, right? We were all like, we never knew about these ladies. We never heard anything about that. So, we've got to get this information out here so that our children can see. I mean, if you look at, typically things that you see so far as we're concerned, it's in a negative aspect. They need to see we've done a lot. You just don't see it in the textbooks. And I did a couple of videos on critical race theory. People are so upset that our history is not in the history books. And I kept it real blunt and real for people. I said, look, no other race of people leaves, teaching their children to someone else. That's our job so that they get the truth. James Lowen, Dr. James Lowen, white gentleman, he's deceased now. He wrote a book, Lies My Teacher Told Me. Now, this is a Caucasian gentleman. He said everything he was taught was a lie. So again, this bothers me so much. People are on their phones all day, on their tablets, on their electronic devices, playing games. You don't even know who you are. Right.
No, I think that's how we connected.
Right.
And because you had reached out. I mean, we've put maybe 2 or 3 of your videos up.
Yes, sir.
Yes, the Ernest Thomas.
Right. Ernest Thomas.
And another piece that you did. But yeah, I mean, we're in sync. I really urge people who are watching now to subscribe to Rolynns Reviews because she does this, like you said, every Saturday you have a new topic.
Every Sunday.
I'm sorry.
Sometimes Saturdays they may release a short video. But,
okay, but Sunday's your day.
Yeah, and I wish I could. I talked to you about this issue before. Because I asked you, how could I increase my subscribers? You told me I need to release more videos, but I'm working. I'm teaching during the day, and when I come home now, I teach high school folks. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. High school teenagers. When I leave that school, I'm not coming home to create videos. I'm coming home to relax. But also, as you mentioned, not only do I do Black history topics, I go back and I like interviewing people. I'm a Generation Xer just like you are. I like interviewing people that I loved as a child because now when we were children, there weren't as many African Americans on television. So when there were a few, we all loved them. So I've interviewed Denise Nicholas. I've interviewed Ernest Thomas. I've interviewed Flo Anthony. I just recently interviewed Terrible T, of Oaktown 357.
I
And
know that that's big for you.
huh?
What is it about Oaktown 357? I know you when you told me you had locked that one down, you were excited. So what
Because
about Oaktown
at that time, okay,
357?
I was in college, and Hammer, before the gangster rap took over, Hammer and his crew, they were the biggest thing smoking. And so
Mm-hmm.
them girl, I told Terrible T, I said I always try when I was in the club, I was trying to get them dance moves. I said, girl, you moving a little bit too fast. I never could catch up.
Gotcha.
Woo!
So,
You
but
know,
you
she
spent
is,
like an hour with Terrible T. That's the thing.
yeah, he is. It's like, someone I've known all my life. And we text every morning. I send her a little scripture, whatever. Every morning we're going to get together in the future as well. So, and Frida Payne, excuse me, my very first celebrity interview. Oh my God. I don't, words can't express. I think I told you, she was my first interview. And flippantly, I said, she was telling me about her book signing in Manhattan in November. And I was like, well, if you send me an invite, I'll come. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think anything else about it. Next thing I know, I get an email with an invitation. So that's, so some of you guys that go to my channel, you'll see me in Manhattan, in New York City. And I have a couple of videos where it was at the cutting room in Manhattan. And you'll see me, and I had Frida and I think Diana Ross's daughter was there. And it was just wonderful. So I'm reaching out to, and this is not as difficult as you think. I just go through, I find emails, I reach out to people on social media. The ones who respond, those are the ones that I actually conduct video interviews on. And my partner in Chef Finest Wine, I bring him in. We just work. He's in Chicago actually, but he comes in and he has a cooking channel. So if you will, you can subscribe. If you like looking at cooking videos, he is great. So he does his cooking videos. I do my Black history. We come together and we do celebrity interviews.
Yeah, Chef, he usually checks in at this time of day, so I'm not sure where he is. He might jump on before we're done.
I started a new job, so yeah, I told
Oh,
him
he's
about
tied up.
all my family and friends are watching Reelblack. I'm just telling you.
I appreciate it. So, I
Yes.
mean, we can take calls. I mean, we have the StreamYard link. It's in the description as well. But happy to take your calls. Let me make sure it's in the description. Yeah. So all you have to do is click the link and have your camera ready. We can take calls from you if veteran YouTuber and up and coming new about a year you've had your channel.
Since 2019.
Okay, 3
20,
now you're making me do math. 3 years.
yeah, 2020. I'm sorry. This pandemic has me just when they say 2020, because they sent us home in March of 2020. Right, yeah. So that's it. I got it right now. So I've had it since March of 2020.
Yeah. But so any questions for me as we move forward through? I mean, like I mean, I give you advice offline, but I mean any questions? I mean, what do you want to know about Mike D? I mean, there are a lot of people that I never talk about myself, and no one ever asked me anything. So can I be a celebrity interview?
Yes. So I guess I could ask, how did you become so interested? How did you get involved with, what you do? And how, I don't know how you get this content, but I love it. And all I can say is keep it coming. But that's what I want to know.
We'll see. I mean, they've demonetized the channel, so there's we have to do some juggling. We are moving a lot of the content over to our backup channel at this point. So it's going to slow down the pace of the newer content. But that being said, I'm a filmmaker by trade,
Okay.
and I love to share. So those are the two factors.
Right.
So oh, yikes, I need this. Sorry, guys. I didn't realize I couldn't hear myself without the little earpiece. But and I love what I do. But so I started as a film, studied film at NYU and the American Film Institute in Los
Wow.
Angeles. But just a little ahead of the curve, for some first generation in my family to graduate college. I had people that went to college before me,
Right.
but I was the first one to graduate from college. So, coming, middle class, but economically deprived for a business like show business, like filmmaking,
Right.
didn't have the resources necessarily just to buy my way into the industry. So, spent about 10 years working for other people, production assistant on Beloved, a bunch of music videos out of high school or out of college, excuse me. Worked on a lot of music videos, worked on the movie Beloved, and then at a certain point, ran into M. Night Shyamalan, who went to school with me. He's a year behind me at NYU,
Right.
and he did the movie Sixth Sense, and I was at an early screening of it, and he was saying it's going to be a big hit, and it clearly transformed his life, transformed the history of the movies, and all that
Right.
stuff. And he did that out of Philadelphia, and at the time I had moved back home to Philly. And I said to myself, I don't have to go back to LA. I can just write here or make movies here in Philadelphia. And I was banking on a regional film scene popping up because of the increase in technology. So I staked my claim to Philadelphia, and I started making movies there, documentaries, which you
Right.
can see on the channel, and did that from about 2000. Well, I'll put it this way: since the year 2002, any dollar I've made or haven't made has come as a result of filmmaking. So I haven't really had a day job since then. And then in 2007, I started Reelblack TV on YouTube, which was an outlet for us to put the content that we were making on my public access cable show onto YouTube. So we do a half-hour show, and then I break up the segments and put them on YouTube, and that's how the channel started. And then when we met Dick Gregory, that was the first time that the channel went viral, in a sense. We had videos that had gone viral, but because everything was sort of built around these one-offs, it was sort of like I'd go interview you, and then I'd say, okay, I have an interview with Rolynn or Lynn, so I don't need to do any more, but Dick Gregory gave us he talked for 2 hours the first time we met him, and I
Wow.
didn't know that was too long to put on the channel or put on the TV show, because the TV show was built around 10-minute segments.
Right.
So I sat on that footage for almost a year before I decided, well, let me just serialize it. Like, I'll put 20 minutes out at a time. And that's what transformed the nature of the channel, having people curious and say, wow, I have to subscribe to this channel because I want to see what happens next. I want to be notified of the next segment. And that's what made the channel sort of take flight, in a
Right.
sense. People started subscribing more because they knew that was the only way to be notified of the next segment. And also they were endorsing what I was doing at that point. And that shifted the nature of the channel into more Black consciousness raising, Black empowerment. That's always been a theme for me, but having Dick Gregory as sort of our cornerstone underlined it. And around the same time that was happening, I was rebuilding my relationship, or reacquainting myself with Charles Woods, who's our film historian on the channel. And he was also creating serialized content for the
Oh,
channel. So he'd come down to Philly, and we'd shoot like 8 segments in 3 days of mini lectures. And then we'd say, all right, if you like this one, then subscribe so you can see the next one, and that was it. But then, like you said, when you get home from work, it's kind of hard to sit down and make original content at all times. But we had this gray area in the YouTube space where you could put things up that were rare, videos that had not been seen before. And that's where Charles and I came together as collectors. We have a lot of material in our collections that, otherwise would not be available, to people, things,
Okay.
and that became a foundation for the channel as well. Now we're accused of using reused content, and it's demonetized us to the point where we have to rethink our business plan, our strategy. But I'm quite proud of the reputation we have as far as when people see our logo, what that means to them,
Oh,
so
sure.
yeah.
So if someone else wanted to, um,
Oh, I'm
like,
sorry, Lynn, I keep getting notices. Yeah, please thumb up the video so that it gets spread out more.
yeah,
Please like, and please hit the like button.
hit the
Oh,
like button.
you put it up as well. Please hit the like button. I'm so humble. I never say like, comment, subscribe. I should have that tattooed to my
Yeah.
wrist. Like, comment, subscribe. But we're doing the best we can this morning. Hit the like button, folks. I'm sorry, Lynn.
Share out the stream as well, folks. That brings more people in as well.
Yes. Yeah. So that's how the channel started and grew to where it is. And then over the pandemic, when the George Floyd thing happened, there's so many people that were sharing our videos because they were all about,
Yeah.
instances of that had happened decades before. It seemed, like it became the empirical proof. Like, this is nothing new. This is something that's been ongoing,
Right.
from Rodney King and even before that, police brutality. So people will start to discover the channel as a political tide had shifted, and so I'm grateful for all that.
Okay. So if someone like myself, which I told you, I love history, always have. If someone like me, if I wanted to obtain some of these old films and things that you've collected, where would I start?
Well, hopefully with the channel, hopefully we make it easier for you to find these things. The YouTube makes, like Charles always says, it costs me thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars to have access to some of these movies. The fact that we all know they exist now, and there's a platform where things can be shared, that hopefully that takes the pressure off. But I mean, if you kind of had to be there, quite honestly. It's not like records, a lot of the stuff on the channel, if it weren't for the fact that a human being, and it's not necessarily me or Charles or whomever, but a human being sat up late at night with their VCR and hit play and record at the same time and captured this TV episode. You can't really go back in a time machine and get those things anymore. So that's a big chunk of it. Also, I failed to mention, I was a buyer at a video store for 20 years, so I had access to a lot of things, or at least knowing that things existed, well, long before the channel started. I was buying videos for a video library in Philadelphia, and I was responsible for the black film section. So that, as far as feature films, that's what got my initial interest, was being the used tape buyer, and finding the hard to find movies for that chain
Oh,
in
okay.
Philadelphia. Yeah. And Charles, he ran a video store in Manhattan in Times Square that specialized in hard to find black film.
Right.
So I think, I mean, hopefully we're making it easier for folks who don't have that background to be able to find things and discover and comment on stuff.
Right.
One of my pet peeves is the film critic who intentionally chooses things that are hard to find so they can extrapolate on them as if, oh, this is the best movie ever seen. It's like, well, no one's ever seen it, or best movie ever made. It's like, well, no one's ever seen it. And then it's up for discussion. Then when you finally see the movie, it's like, well, it's not that big a deal. Whereas with us,
Right.
you talk about a movie like, say, a High Yella, and you have an opportunity to see it for yourself, or I Passed for White or something like that. It's not a secret anymore. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, well, I agree with that. Yeah, I'm in a quandary, Lynn. I might have to dismantle the channel for a while and rebuild it. So that's what I'm going through this week. Is that angst that like 2 lifetimes worth of work might have to be we might have to retrench in order to rebuild properly. So that's always the back of my mind, Philip. So yeah.
As a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, interesting. Before sports, or before film, like, I was into sports a little bit. I wasn't very good at it though.
Right.
But I think I've wanted to make films since I was 12 or 13 years old. So I don't really have, before that, I enjoyed baseball and all that
Okay.
kind of stuff, but I wasn't good at it. So I wasn't like, I might have fantasized about playing baseball, but I wasn't like on the field every day doing it. It wasn't, I loved comedy. Growing up, I collected Mad Magazine.
Me too.
I collected comedy albums, and there was a guy, actually, you can see over my shoulder here. Why is my arm right there? That Coming to America poster.
Right.
John Landis made that movie. And, when I was about 12 or 13 years old, he was the hot director. He did National Lampoon's Animal House and
Yeah.
American Werewolf in London, and all these movies that I grew up loving. So, when I found he was probably the first director that I became aware of as a name, and started to study his work. So, if I were to answer your question fairly, I'd say I wanted to be John Landis when I was a kid.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Another question. What is the most rewarding part of your career?
Well, before we jump, well, I love sharing. The rewarding part is knowing that we're making a difference with people, like that other people would, that we have access to things and information and content. We can make things out of our passion and share it with people and help enlighten the world in a sense. Like, I love when I see that our content has been shared on TikTok or YouTube. Well, not YouTube, because that theoretically that's our platform. But when I get a meme on Instagram and I see that they've cropped out the logo, please don't crop out the logo. But it makes me feel good to see that this information that we've mined out from the past is found relevancy in a TikTok video, or relevancy in an Instagram post or a Facebook post, and it's helping to spark a conversation about the way the world works. And then meeting people is the other aspect, just of the job. Having a
Right.
camera, the body of work. That's the other thing. When I look at the body of work that's on the channel, it's like, it's a lifetime of meeting people. I'm so excited right now for Jasmine Sullivan, who just picked up 2 Grammys last week. And I was there the first night she performed at Black Lily, and I filmed her.
Right.
And hung with her parents and stuff when she was 13, 14 years old, to see
Wow.
her at 34 blossoming, blooming. I shouldn't even say blossoming because she always had the glow, but to see her, perseverance and getting to the point where she's not only Grammy nominated, but taking home 2 of them, she's at the top of her game. So Chris Rock, the same thing, being there when he was 23 years old and seeing him now, um, about to go on tour again or in the middle of a tour again, and knowing that because of my skill set, I had a camera and I was able to capture these people at these times of their lives, and then Dick Gregory at the end stages of his life, being able to capture and document his thoughts for posterity is the reward of the job.
This is what I ask. I always ask questions to people that I interview on my channel. Who was your favorite teacher and why?
Charles Reinitz was really a good teacher for me. I've lost touch with him, but he taught film at Central High School. He had a huge, like 16 millimeter film collection, and he built a class around showing teaching film history, and it was an elective class, but I took it. And he was my earliest film teacher. Boris Fruman was tough on me at NYU, sometimes, I don't know about you, but in my experience, and you're a teacher, so like the classes I've done the worst at are the ones I've learned the most from,
That's right.
so I've never had to take a class over, but I've gotten my fair share of D's, and those are the classes that make you work harder, at least for me. And so Boris Fruman and then Linda Rosenfeld. I was a teacher's pet, so 5th grade, Miss Rosenfeld took me under her wing, and made me really interested and excited about learning.
Right.
I was always a good student, but having a teacher that takes an extra moment to care about what you're doing and looking out for you, I think is good. So how about you? I mean, I'll turn that question back on you.
Well, I would say Elaine King. I was in elementary school in New York, and I still remember her to this day. Yeah, we all have that one special teacher.
What is it about Miss King?
Miss King really cared about you, and you knew that. And it's just her way, her mannerisms, she just really loved her job, and that was quite evident. So, Miss King.
How do you avoid burnout as a teacher?
Well, it took a few years for me to get that together, but I finally, my first, I'd say, maybe 4 or 5 years of teaching, you're there all day. I would bring papers home to grade. I don't do that anymore. I stopped that years ago. So if it doesn't get done while I'm there, guess what? It'll still be there when I get there the next day. And so I that's how I avoid burnout. I don't take on too many projects. Like I said, I do what I can. I just focus on, my classroom. I have other teachers. I also mentor newer teachers, and they are some of the issues and things that they are going through. I try to help them work through. And this is going on, that's going on. I try to tell them, you focus on what's going on in your classroom. Stay in your lane. And that's what I do. I stay in my lane. That keeps me from, getting stressed and like I said, I guess I'm only about 5-6 years out from retiring from the state. So when you get to that point, a lot of things that you used to get upset about, you're like, whatever. It's not that serious.
That's cool. So travel, it sounds, are you a big travel person or no?
Yes, I have. Actually, when I was in high school, I went to Europe and I visited 6 countries.
Mm.
So I'm a worldwide traveler. I've been to Switzerland, Germany, Spain, France, Italy, Great Britain. So yeah, I'm an avid traveler. It's funny, I've traveled more abroad than I have here in this country. Like I've never been to the West Coast.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's on my bucket list. Somewhere else I'd love to go. I want to go to Auschwitz-Birkenau. Anything about the Holocaust. I tell you, I love history. I've seen all the World War II documentaries. I'm history. I don't know why I'm not teaching it. I love it that much.
Mm. So that's going to be your retirement, to travel more?
Yeah, yes, I do want to travel more. However, I'll probably still be teaching in some capacity. I don't want to just, well, I'm retired now, and you go home, you sit home, you die. You have to keep moving so that your noodle up here, doesn't turn to mush.
Right. We're talking with Lynn from Rolynns Reviews, and she's got this great YouTube channel. She contributes content to our channel as well, so you definitely want to check her out and subscribe. Get her to, let's try to get her to monetization status, which is she's got enough subscribers, she just needs more views.
Right.
So people need, so even if you just like take a video and just play it and leave the room, if she gets 4,000 minutes of views, then she can monetize her content. It just makes, having monetization just makes it easier to create more, because you have incentives. So and there's a great interview, it's not on our channel, with Terrible T from Oaktown 357. She's got
Yes.
a Frida Payne. We play Frida Payne almost every day,
Oh,
when we don't have a guest on the channel. When I'm just playing music, I love Frida Payne as well. And
yes,
then
the new jazz.
Raj from What's Happening.
Frida Payne has a new jazz album out as well.
Okay.
Yeah, if you got any of you who love her, follow her on Instagram. She's on there doing gymnastics. She's about 80 years old, but you would never know it. She is on there. She is vibrant. She is fantastic.
Fantastic. So you had Ernest Lee Thomas.
Oh yeah, he was great. He was a riot.
It seems like you guys could have went for another hour.
Yeah, and see, when I set the interviews up, I say, if you could give us 30 minutes. But when the celebrities keep talking, I'm not going to stop them. I'm enjoying it. So if you see when it goes over an hour, all of them have, they just kept talking. So
no,
okay.
I think it's important that we give our heroes their flowers.
And that's what I do. And when I send these emails out to the celebrities, because some of them are like, kind of hesitant, because some people, I won't call any names, we know who they are. They get you on their show and then they Shanghai you. People not on you. I'm not talking about YouTube people. I'm not talking about people who have shows or who have had shows. They get you on there under the pretense of everything being wonderful. Then they get you on there and try to embarrass you. You know who I'm talking about. So anyway, I let them know this is all I want to do is show you love and adulation. Denise Nicholas, she was great. We know she was in so many movies with Sidney Poitier, Bill Cosby. I've just always loved Denise Nicholas. I sent her an email and she responded, and that's how we started talking. That's how she wound up on the show. We had some technical difficulties, so we're probably going to do another interview with her, because I don't think she's a perfectionist, and I don't think she was pleased with the way it went because she was having some connectivity issues.
Okay, yeah, it's right there. Oh, wait, there's ad blocking face. So
Yeah.
yeah, but the
So yeah,
technology is great. I mean, you just get on your phone and you go in the software called Streamyard, which is also what we use, and
right,
you know, anybody can do it. You know, anybody can make
right.
content. You know, so that's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
she looks good too. She looks
Oh
really
yeah.
good.
Yeah, and she's in the process now of writing her memoir.
I love
So,
it.
and she takes care of her mother, who's 100 years old.
Oh my goodness, that's a blessing.
Yes, so she was wonderful. And like I said she was going to come back on the show probably after her memoir is released. I've reached out to a few other celebrities, so I'm waiting. Yesterday, I sent an email to Ernest Harden Jr., if you remember him from Good Times, Marcus. So I'm waiting to hear from him now.
You just like these folks. You have
Yes.
a great love for them.
Oh, yeah. And like I said, I believe in showing them love. Don't wait until people pass away and then, oh, I love their work. Show them while they're here, particularly those who are no longer, you know. Now, obviously, the big time celebrities would never come on our show, but, you know, the ones who are not really in the limelight like they once were, let them know you are not forgotten. You are still loved.
That reminds me, I have to write down Louis Gossett's name. I got to track him down. He's
Yeah,
my want.
I love Louis Gossett Jr. I looked
Yeah,
at his
if
movie.
anybody has a contact for him, we'd love to get him on the show.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do when I get off when we're done with this. But I looked at his movie a few weeks ago. You remember A Gathering of Old Men?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Great
looked at
one.
that.
Yeah, yeah. Where it's gosh, it's based on the book Ernest
Uh,
Gaines.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh, so MG Massey, you got a new sub.
Hey, thank you, MG. Leave a once you watch a video, leave a comment. I respond to all my comments. That's one thing I do when I come home from work. I'm responding to people who have left me comments. So, yeah, I've loved this YouTube journey, and I hope to. One thing I plan to do, because you asked me about travel. Yes, I do love traveling. One thing I plan to do this summer, I plan to go to Money, Mississippi.
Oh, okay.
Right, to the Bryant store where the so-called incident, the alleged incident happened. And you know, I don't know if you,
Or Emmett Till. We're talking about Emmett Till, folks.
and it's pretty much falling in, but still, I bet I still want to go there, and I'm going to stream it live as I'm at the store. I mean, it's all falling in, and I want to go to the bridge that allegedly where his body was thrown in to the water, because there's some videos here on YouTube that I've watched and done that, and I'm like, I really want to go to Money, Mississippi.
Wow. Well, yeah,
So
that's great.
yeah, I want to
Well,
go to places where significant events in our history happened, and that was
that's sort of like Ron from We All Be. He does a big thing like that. He travels all over the place.
yeah,
He visits a lot of grave sites for
right.
whatever reason. That's his thing.
But
Brother
we all
Ron, We All Be TV. Yeah, he goes to a lot of
okay,
grave sites.
subscribe to him actually.
Yeah, he's down near you. He's in Memphis.
Where is he?
Memphis.
Tennessee. Okay, he's in the South. Okay.
Well, it's all the same. It's sort of like when people call me up and they say, "Hey, I'll be in Pennsylvania today. I'll be in Pittsburgh." It's like, well, you're nowhere near where I am.
10 hours from me. Yeah, that's all right.
Exactly.
Oh man. So yeah, that's something I plan to do. And that's actually something I again, by me working every day, I don't have time, but we have famous people that are buried here in North Carolina. And like I said, A channel I look at, Lamont at Large. He's paid by YouTube. He doesn't have a job, so every day he's somewhere there. I can't do that.
Right.
But that's actually, was thinking about, because there are a lot of people, and I wanted to just go around to famous grave sites. I also, me being a product of an HBCU, I wanted to, go to all of the HBCUs, and like this past summer, I went to Morehouse and Clark, Atlanta, but I want to go to all of them. That's a goal.
Okay. Well, when you get up this way near Cheney, let me know. We'll have to
Yeah.
have lunch or something, get together. But Marcus from Good Times to the Jeffersons, Billy Ray wants to know.
Yeah, he's the same guy. Marcus from I think he was on the Good Times, but he was primarily on the Jeffersons, and he was in several movies. White Mama with Betty Davis is one of my favorites. Oh my God. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, all those things are going to happen. You're gonna start seeing dividends from the channel for sure. I mean, I guess my tip would be, if you can serialize content, like people know you for what you do, and they're checking in for the stuff. But when you get a hot interview, if you have it broken up at first, and then you break it up into chunks, and then you have highlights, and then you put the full interview, sort of like Vlad does, then that increases your subscriber rate.
What was that?
Serializing your content. So like instead of putting the full hour up with somebody,
right,
put it up 15 minutes, break it up into 4 pieces, maybe. I don't know. But you're doing a lot of live streams, so
right.
So it's a different thing. But I mean, collabing like what we're doing now, letting other people know about your channel and doing things together.
Right.
So this Rolynns Reviews. Meow. When did you start liking cats?
All my life.
Okay, I have a cat now. I'm
too.
converted. I'm converting now. I grew up with dogs, but I'm starting to fall in love with this cat. It's my mom's cat.
You probably heard my cat in the background. He won't shut up.
What's his name?
I just adopted him from FAPS out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. His name was Mr. Man. He's like 16 years old. No one else would give him a home, and he had to stay in the cage. He was depressed. His family dumped him after 16 years, and so he had no interest. So I said, I'll take him home. No problem.
Gotcha.
Also, I see that someone in the comment section said that they interviewed Cynthia McKinney, PhD, former Congresswoman. Oh, that's great. I actually have, I think I told you guys, I'm on spring break this week. That's how, I had time for the show today. And I reached out to several people in academia. One being, I don't know if any of you are familiar with her. If you subscribe to the show, you're going to learn about who she is, because her name is Dr. Anita Foeman, Foeman, PhD. She's the director of the DNA Discussion Project. I watched her on, there was a PBS special, and she was on there, and people were finding out about their DNA and their ancestors. And I sent her an email, and guess what? She's coming on the show. She told me the end of May.
Oh, congratulations.
Right.
Well,
all in, participate, and find out, what they need to do to find out more about their forefathers. So she's great.
I love it.
Oh yeah.
So
DNA, and I told her I know I'm going to love her, because that's DNA is the largest part of what I teach. And I actually have a couple of professors coming into my classroom for North Carolina DNA Day. They're going to do some experiments with my students. So, yeah, it's going to be great.
Oh, awesome. Now, I was going to say, do you still do the book reviews, or you've shifted over?
I have not. because when I started the book reviews, remember they sent us home. I had time to read the books. Now, not so much, but I want to get back to the book reviews. My subscribers, they keep coming up with all these Black history topics they want me to talk about. So that has sort of taken precedence. But that is the plan. I have several books that I would love to read and do a review on. I just, not enough hours in the day.
Hey, okay, the debate between W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T, that's a good one.
That's really good. Yeah. And I was telling my subscribers, had I been around during that time, Booker T. Washington was more, hands-on. The courses I teach are called CTE, which is Career and Technical Education, another word for vocational. So I guess I said, if had I been alive during that time, I would have been on the side of Booker T. Washington.
Even to at that time, you would have been Booker T because of the
Probably
because of the,
yeah.
because of the. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, I said, yeah. Oh, you're fine. Probably because the courses I teach now are vocational. So
Gotcha.
About vocational, whereas Dr. Du Bois, of course, he was, the classical education.
Yes.
And
Talented 10th.
Talented 10th. So,
yeah. Why can't we have both? Why do we have to choose between Malcolm X and Martin Luther King? Why?
Yeah. Oh, that's what I tell people. And I've watched all of Dr. King's speeches, all of Malcolm's speeches, and it's like this. Each person, has, good and bad. So you can't just say, oh, I'm Dr. King. Look at all this that Malcolm X did. So I love both. And again, for the people, they didn't like Dr. King, and he that man gave his life for his people. How many people have actually done that? He didn't have.
Okay.
Who else was going to go through all that he went through? I don't know of anyone.
Exactly.
So, you have to, look at each person. And I've read Malcolm X's biography, oh my God, more than once. You look at what that man did to turn his life around. Oh, how can you not? And a lot of things he was saying, so far as the media, we see how the media is now. They were doing it then when he was alive. He was a lot of stuff. If you go back and look at a lot of his speeches, a lot of the things he was saying, it's going on now.
Yeah, it doesn't change. Like Paul Mooney says, the only thing that's changed is the weather.
That's right. I had a question.
Go ahead.
If you could choose a theme song to describe where you are in your life right now, what would it be and why?
That's a tough one. Well, I've been playing MC Breeze's "You Don't Know Me, But That's Okay," but that's a little facetious. I think a lot of people do know us and what we do. I don't want to be like, I just finished reading Quincy Jones's book, and he's saying one of his chapters is about the power of underestimation.
Right.
So I'm kind of in that vein right now where it's sort of like, we've been hit with a massive blow with the channel, but we have a lot of loyal eyeballs and listeners and viewers. So what I'm interested in is like what this next chapter looks like, like taking all the visibility of the brand and transforming it into whatever the next incarnation of existence this is. So if it's in my own power, it's about making content outside of this YouTube space that can be monetized on multiple platforms and have a longer half-life, beyond relevancy, that that it's something like, if it's a film, it's something that we can license for the remainder of time, because we are the reason all this stuff is happening is because intellectual property, you see what NFTs and all this other stuff, what exists in people's minds has more value than real estate in some cases, or at least real estate is finite where intellectual property is
Right.
infinite. So, you know, I feel like in the process of like staking claim to the intellectual property that I do control and own, and making sure people know that it exists is
Right.
is one of the things that I want to focus on the rest of the year. And so if you don't know me, it's okay. That's my theme song for right now. We played at the beginning of the show. So,
Right.
you know, um I'm pretty there's a lot of things I still want to do, but I've had a pretty blessed career. All the people that I've had a chance to meet, help,
You have.
work with, share things with, it's really been a blessing, and you know in some ways an anointing. It's my job to do this, and I don't take it lightly. I'm real serious about what I do. So how about you? What's your song?
Oh boy. Oof. If I had to choose a theme song for where my life is right now, um, oof, you turned it back on me. Now I have to think of.
Okay, well, have you read Baccaroon?
I have no.
Zora Hurston?
No, I have not.
Okay, but
I,
you've heard of it, right?
I have. Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
I don't have time to read a lot since we went back to
Hmm.
school, but I've ordered a lot of books. So when I have that time, it's coming. But if I had to choose a song, I would choose Fairy Tale by Anita Baker.
Mm.
I don't know if you're familiar with that song. And I tell my students that they look at the world through rose-colored glasses. And I have it pulled up at work on my MacBook. I'm going to play it for them when they'll be back in school on Monday. I will as well. And if you listen to the words of that song, we all think life is going to be wonderful. And no, just listen to that. Yes, listen to that song by Anita Baker. Everyone, if you do not know the song I'm talking about, listen to the words of that song. I mean,
Okay.
it's uplifting, but it's also haunting because we all think that life is, wonderful and we're not going to have bumps and bruises. And
Mm.
by the end of the song, she's finally realized how life is, whereas when we're children, our parents tell us everything is wonderful. They don't tell you about this is going to happen. That's going to listen to the song, folks, and leave me a comment on my channel. Let me know what you think about that song. One of my favorites. One of my favorites.
Right. Yeah, I would play it. I would choose to play it, but I'm afraid
Yeah,
it may block the stream. Like,
they will block the stream.
And I want this to stay there forever. We've had a lot of people pop in and out. About 50 people in the room right now,
Right.
so we'll with this up, we'll hit over 1,000 by the end of the day.
Oh yeah.
Any final thoughts or
Final thoughts, folks. I've enjoyed being here. I would like to encourage each person here to, support the channel. Please, in any way that you can, support the channel. He has some of the best content that I've seen. And again, I'm on his channel every day, just about. Every day I'm watching something on Reelblack's channel. So please, folks, if you enjoy the content as much as I do, please support this man. We don't want, this content to disappear. And that's
right?
all.
Well, and vice versa. I think what you're doing is great, and for the culture, and I want more people to know about what it is that you do, and also I want to make sure that people know that this is an open platform in terms of if you have content that is in alignment with our mission statement, I definitely want to use my platform to share. One of the problems I have with social media is that too many people think of their platform as their brand, and they don't want to share information anymore. Like when it was just Facebook, the whole thing was about sharing information and having it go viral. And Twitter does the same thing. But when we get to our personal platforms like Instagram and YouTube, people want to make their image. They want to center everything around themselves. And what I'm trying to do with this channel is tell people, hey, it's available to everybody as long as we have, the money is irrelevant to me. It's the eyeballs. I mean, having the potential to have this many people centered around a theme of Black empowerment is something that I don't take lightly. The fact that this many people have come into this sphere, so that's what I want to maintain as we grow through the situation that we're in, is that we have to have currency. We have to remain relevant. I'm not always going to be the person at bat, so Rolynn, she's got great content. Check her out. Every once in a while we will put her interviews on our channel so more people can see them. But more importantly, it's important that you subscribe to her channel so that she can monetize, so that she can then have resources available for her to be able to improve the quality of her presentations, to do more of them, to do them more frequently, so on and so forth. So that's all I got. But any last questions for me? And thank you, MG. I mean, I appreciate everybody who's in the room. We had a full week of this. I was playing music at the beginning of the week, and through the day we finally got a guest. No one wants to come on and chat, but thank you. That's okay. I'll leave it there for a second in case other people want to come on. So what's your highest viewed video?
My highest viewed videos was the one I did on critical race theory. The very first one I did on critical race theory.
Okay, I see it. So we should give that a play.
Okay.
Oh, from 9 months ago? Oh, I hate this. They put ads on these things. That's the sick part. There's ads everywhere on YouTube. So it was just a live stream?
Right. Yes, sir.
I like that shirt. Where is that, Whitney?
Whitney, one of my subscribers sent me that shirt.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I forgot to put my plug in. All right. Forget about you. All right. I'm taking you off. Being smart. All right. So if you like this hat, you can buy this hat. If you like this shirt, you can have a shirt just like it sent to you, sent to your house, wherever you live. And if you go to shop.reelblack.com, shop.reelblack.com, you can get this stuff. Yeah, I spelled it right. So that's my shameless plug, Lynn. And do you have merch or anything like that? Of course, I spelled it wrong. I knew I typed it too fast. You muted yourself. You're muted. Let's go. Okay. Okay. All right. I just want to say goodbye. All right.
Okay. I really enjoyed the interview.
Are you okay? It's allergy
have to
season.
do it again.
Oh, always. Yeah. You're always welcome to come on and talk, and we can play music next time. you know, and you can pick songs and stuff. That's what we do normally this time of
Okay.
day, is get people's day started with a jam or two. But I wanted to take the time to shout you out and make sure that people knew where to find you. So thanks for
I
taking the time this
appreciate
morning.
that.
Lynn, thanks for taking the time. And your Cash App, you should tell people. Type your Cash App in. I'll throw it on the screen
Okay.
before we go, because that's another way you can support Lynn.
Will do.
But yeah, so that's about it. Check the chat real fast. Sending love, shout out Pamela. And
Let's see.
hi from the UK. We got people from the UK watching.
Oh yes.
You're welcome, MGs. And Weichel, did I say it right? Weichel, Rangai. Yeah, just message me on. Anybody who wants to come on should DM me on Instagram, and then we can set up a time to do it. So
okay, there you go.
Lynn's Cash App. All right. Well, thank you everybody for hanging out with me and Lynn. I learned so much today. I
Me
didn't know much
too.
about you in Fort Bragg. Enjoy the rest of the day. It's nice and sunny out today. Before I start in my migration mode, I'm gonna take a walk and get some air.
Yeah, I'm gonna
and
get
do
out
some
of here
nice
too.
things. But enjoy the rest of your day, everybody, and
You too.
peace and blessings. All right, take care.
You too.